Hey, what's up guys? It's Wes Hoffman. I hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. I'm trying out a little bit of a new format here. I want to start sharing more videos on YouTube. So I got some new camera equipment and stuff like that, and I'm hoping to use it a little bit more. So if you don't know me, if this is the first video that you've ever seen that I've ever done, I am a motivational speaker, a life coach. I do a podcast called Wes Hoffman with Friends. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify. I also play music. You can find it on Spotify under Wes Hoffman. It's just Wes Hoffman, and the name of the album and the project is Positive Punk. And I actually have a concert coming up on November 18th here in St. Louis at the Tin Roof. So yeah, that's pretty much me. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is empathy. You know, I think empathy is something that I see a lot of videos on Instagram, and I see a lot of stuff out there, and there is a lot of people in the world today who are just hurting and going through a lot of grief. If you can notice, I change as I start to talk about these things, because that's what empathy is I begin to feel what these people feel when I read these posts. And literally sometimes if I'm really getting involved in a post, I can be moved to tears because I read these posts and I hear what these people are going through, and it's very saddening. And I think what we need to remember today more than ever is that we have to have empathy for these people. And if we want the world to change, there's a lot of talk about this with politics and with just life in general about what's happening. If we want things to change, we ourselves are going to have to change. And that means not judging people that are different than us. When we judge people that are different than us, we don't realize that that person is judging us too, because they're different than us. So we have to remember to just release that judgment and imagine what it's like to be in that other person's shoes. We're all different. No one is exactly the same. And what we often forget, being on one side of it, is that if we're judging someone, they are judging us. And I really began to release judgment after I read a couple of books. One was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and the other is The Untethered Soul. I think his name is Mark Singer. I'm not 100% sure. But I would highly recommend both of those books, because it will tell you about how judgment can affect you on an emotional and mental and spiritual level. And if you can release that judgment, you'll find that there's more room for love to come in, and there's more room for you to love more people. But when you're practicing that judgment all the time, whether you realize it or not, you are only hurting yourself, because we're putting that on ourselves. We're feeling that feeling of judgment, of what it feels like to condemn or just judge somebody. It sucks. It hurts. It really, really hurts. You'll feel this pent up anger and frustration towards people. And if you hold that, it's not healthy for you. And that brings me to a different point, is that you can choose to either judge people and add to their pain and grief and loss, or you can have empathy for them and love them and understand that if you were going to do the same thing, you would feel the exact same way that they do now. And it was a couple years ago that I made a choice that I wanted to be a beacon of hope and love and happiness and positivity for people. I no longer want to hold anything against anyone. And how you do that, I'm going to share in some upcoming videos how to release that and how to practice these things. I mean, there's some simple things you can do. Meditation is huge for me, and other self-care techniques. But I'll be sharing some more practical tips on how to release those feelings and how to feel better over time. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys today. This is something that's been on my mind. It's something that I see every day. I see people out there that are just going through a tough time. And if you were going through a tough time and somebody didn't understand, you wouldn't want them to judge you. So don't judge them. It's the golden rule. Don't treat people how you wouldn't want to be treated. If you didn't want to be treated that way, don't treat someone else that way. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. Much love and happiness to you as always.